Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. All right, so we're getting more things. Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones, have you noticed, is doing a lot more talking now than before? Jerry Jones used to be the one doing all the talking and stuff, but now we're actually going to Stephen Jones. It seems like we're transitioning more to Stephen Jones. He's out in front on Mondays, where Jerry Jones is out on Tuesdays. Couple of things. Mike McCarthy, the question was, Mike McCarthy be back next year? He said absolutely, unequivocally, he'll be returning. Then he started getting asked questions about the draft and things and thoughts on Dak Prescott. Vice President Stephen Jones was asked about the prospect of drafting a quarterback if Dallas ends up with a high draft pick next spring. Stephen Jones, Dak's our quarterback. We're fired about our future with Dak. Now, that's what they're saying. Here's my take on it. Now, I am Joe the fan. I'm doing stuff from my outdoor man cave and from my basement and stuff, and giving you my thoughts, okay? Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. I mean, this is like fantasy football. It's not really happening. I have no control over them. But see, here's my thing. In looking back, a lot of times what I do when I try and come up with things is I look at trends and things that have happened in the past, because that will help guide you towards the future. As they always say, if you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going. And of course, a lot of fans think the only thing that matters in winning is having a great quarterback. Doesn't matter if you don't have a team around him. As long as you have a great quarterback, you'll win. Well, hate to tell you, that's not the case. If last night didn't prove that, then I don't know what will change your mind. The reason we were in that game yesterday, Garrett Gilbert didn't lose the game for us. He didn't have a whole bunch of turnovers and things like that. He made some plays. You need your quarterback. Don't get me wrong. You need a really good quarterback. But more importantly, you need a team around him. You need an offensive line that can block for the running backs and for the quarterback and keep him upright. You need a defense that can stop the other team and get takeaways, as our defense was showing. Our defense stepped up yesterday, and we didn't give up 38 points. We held them to 24 points or whatever it was. And the special teams made plays to give us good field position, okay, and made field goals. All of these things went together and got us close to winning, something we haven't been in quite a while. And so this should be like, oh, I see. Yeah, we need a defensive line that can stop giving up 9 yards a carry. When you give up 2.4 like we did yesterday, it makes it that much harder for the other team to beat you. And when your offensive line can block for the quarterback and open up holes, you can see Tony Pollard's running for him. When there's no blocking there and Zeke has literally got 2 guys in the backfield as he's handed off the ball, the chances of making yards don't matter. So the key thing is understanding you only have so many resources that you can spend. Like when you know how it is when you don't have a lot of money and you got to pay the gas bill, the electric bill, you got to buy groceries, you got to buy medication, you got to get a computer for the kids. You have to be careful on how you spend the money, so that way you can go and take care of all of those different things. And that's the same thing about football. You only have so much commodities that you can use to improve the team. So here's the thing. Looking back, and I went back through last year's first round draft, okay? In that first round draft, there are 4 quarterbacks taken. 1 defensive end, 1 really good one in Chase Young. 5 cornerbacks, 4 offensive tackles, 2 defensive tackles, 4 linebackers, 2 offensive tackles, 4 wide receivers, 1 center, and a running back at 32. You know what you don't see on that list? Taken in the first round? You don't see any safeties, and you don't see any guards. Okay? Just follow me for a second. There were actually 5 safeties taken in the second round. 5. First one didn't come off the board until 35, I think, to the Giants. Interesting, right? Okay. Follow my logic here. If the Cowboys are in one of those prime positions, those top 3, and who knows if the Jags will win any. I don't think the Jets are going to win 2 games. I don't. I actually think the Cowboys may end up winning some games. If the team that showed up yesterday shows up in some of those games, Cincinnati, Washington, Giants, Eagles, I'm thinking we're going to win some games. So this may be a moot point. But here's the thing. We have currently first, second, 2/3, 2/4, 1/5, 2/6, and a 7th round draft pick. That's actually a lot of draft capital. If you're in the top 3 and somebody wants to get up there and try and get a quarterback, hypothetically, say it's a team that's trying to move up 5 or 6 spots. They give you a 1, a second, and a second next year, or a 1 this year and a 1 next year, and a second this year and a 4th or a 5th, something like that. And you move back, and maybe you're still in the top 10. That's basically Washington they were in the top 10, I believe. They moved up to second to get RG3. They gave up 3 number 1s in a second. Yeah. If you can move back, still be in the top 10, you still have the run-of-the-mill of taking the best player available. If that's an offensive tackle, you're going to have one of the primo ones there. If it's a defensive lineman, you have the opportunity of taking one of the primo ones there. So you can still fill in a space. If you take a quarterback, you're at best holding serve with Dak Prescott. But you still have all these other pressing needs. And, I'll go into it more later on, but there's guys that we need to upgrade. I'm sorry, Jalen Smith is one of those spots that maybe Jalen Smith is replaced or benched or something. But we need better play from the linebacker. We truly need a safety. We need another tackle to be the heir apparent to Tyron Smith. You can get that guy. And hypothetically, you might get Tyron Smith back as well as Lyle Collins, which is great. Because if you do draft that tackle, well, maybe you kick Lyle Collins back to guard and you make Connor Williams a swing guard. You've improved the offensive line right there. You got Tyler Badass. You got Zach Martin. Okay, that's one spot that you've definitely improved. You got that 2nd round pick, which is 33, 34, 35, depending on how it goes. You get the best safety out there. You can get the best safety and one of the best tackles in the draft by doing that. Think about that. Safety has been the bugaboo for us since Woodson. It really has. You could now get one of the top offensive tackles and a safety, and we still have a 2nd round pick because you traded back. 2nd round pick? I could go with another offensive lineman, right? I could go with another offensive lineman, or I could go with another defensive lineman. Although I will say what I've seen from Gallimore and Tristan Hill, along with D-Law and Randy Gregory and Alden Smith, is a good start. That's a really good start right there. It's not as big a need now, seeing some of these younger guys, as you would have thought 2 weeks ago, before we got rid of Dontari Poe and Emerson Griffin and things. You looked at that defensive line that could not stop anything. I'm so happy that the Cowboys are understanding, or at least we got lucky enough to have a guy who can clog up the middle. And that's what Gallimore and Tristan Hill can do. That those two guys might become our bruise brothers, in the middle. I'm hoping. We'll see. Tristan Hill, we got a taste. We got to wait till next year. Okay. So now we can take, with that 2nd round pick, best player available. We need help all over the place. Get a cornerback if there's a really good cornerback. There's another really good safety out there. Take another safety. There's a great offensive lineman. You're now in a strength of position, and you are still playing with house money. Because going to 3rd round, you still got at least 2 3rd round picks. Now we're looking at getting some depth. And this is what I was saying last night, that, with the Cowboys' position, knowing that you've got these players that are coming back. This isn't like we've got all of our frontline guys out there and we're bad. We've lost tremendous talent out there. This is 2015 when you lost Tony Romo and you got a better running back and you got Dak Prescott that turned that bad team around just like that. It really did. And so you insert Dak in because you're going from a 4-string quarterback to a top 10 at least. I could argue and say top 5 quarterback who knows the system and the wide receivers. You've got your receivers down pat. You got 2 decent tight ends. You get back Pro Bowl offensive tackle, be it who knows how many games. You get back one that should have been a Pro Bowler, and you add some in the draft. Wait a minute. Oh, don't forget, draft a linebacker. Because the other thing that when we talk about that first round draft, another position that there were none taken in the first round, inside linebackers. Yeah. You could get an inside linebacker in the second round. That might be, yeah. And then I still got my thirds, I still got my fourths, and I still got my fifths. So I'm feeling better about what we can do here. Again, Stephen Jones could be just baffling us with bullshit saying that Dak Prescott's the guy to kind of hide what they're trying to do. You don't want people to know what your game plan is. Because if they don't, maybe you can actually charge them more money. But it always seems like we're the ones that everything always costs more from. So tune in tonight. Tonight's show, we're going to be talking about who needs to be benched on the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, who needs to be benched for somebody else. And I got a few guys that definitely need to go. All right, I'm going to catch you later.